Hi, I'm NCGunGirl. Today I'm going to talk to you about dry firing. Dry firing is a great technique to use for improving your trigger control, your sight alignment, to help cure or avoid flinch, and it allows you to practice away from all the noise and recoil you'd get if you were at a shooting range. It also allows you to practice more often for less money. You're not throwing all those rounds of ammo down range, and you can practice in your own home. The first and foremost rule of dry firing practice is making sure that your gun is unloaded. So every time you're getting ready to do your dry fire, you want to make sure you unload your gun, take out any magazines, lock back the slide, check the chamber, make sure there's no rounds in it. You might want to have a dry fire room, somewhere where outside of the room you had a table with a bowl or some kind of container that you could put any ammo in before you go into the room and shut the door. That also gives you kind of a separation. This is where I do my dry fire. I don't have any ammo in here. The next thing you'd want to do in your dry fire area is to have your targets. And aim small, miss small. You want to have targets that are small. Probably something that's not going to be much bigger than your front sight when you have it all lined up. So pick your targets. I like to use like the little dots you'd get on the sticky targets that you can buy. You can get a bullseye that has a nice small bullseye in the center. Anything like that. Hang them up when you go into your room. Just tape them to the wall wherever you want to be shooting. You could have multiple targets up for shooting multiple things. So as many targets as you want, tape them up to the wall. Make sure wherever you're taping that is a safe wall. So know your target and what is beyond it. You never know, people make mistakes, and you want to make sure that the wall that you pick for your target is safe beyond it. So even if something were to happen, nobody or anything you aren't willing to destroy would be hurt by that. Next, you want to double check your gun and any magazines you have. You cannot check your gun to make sure it's unloaded too many times when you're dry firing. Visually, physically inspect it one more time. Make sure that it is clear and safe to use. Next thing, you have your gun, you have your targets, you want to get into a good stance. So pick your stance, nice and comfortable, bring your gun up, and you're going to aim. And dry firing is great for practicing your trigger control. So good stance, get your good grip on there, whatever grip you're going to use so it's always consistent, same grip every time. And then you'd start your practice. You want to get your sights lined up on your target, so your front sight's sitting right on there, and you're going to, with the pad of your finger, just the pad here, you're going to apply a nice, consistent, smooth pressure to the trigger. And you're going to keep it there until the shot breaks. And then you'll know that by the click that you hear. There it was. And what you're looking for is after you press that trigger and the shot breaks, where is your front sight? Is it still on the target? Has it moved? Those are the things you're looking for to make sure that you can break that shot, pull that trigger, and the sights are not moving. Depending on what type of gun you have, like my Glock, you may have to give the slide a little rack in between each shot to reset that trigger so that you can pull it again. You also want to make sure that you are able to dry fire your gun. Check in your owner's manual or give it a Google online, and just to make sure that it's safe. There's actually some guns like rimfire guns that you could deform or damage the chamber from dry firing it. So make sure you check that out before you are dry firing your gun. There's other things that you can practice when you're doing your dry fire. Besides just your trigger control, you can also practice shooting from concealment, drawing from a holster, doing mag changes. Any of those things are great for dry fire practice. After 5 to 10 minutes, you should have gotten to pull that trigger quite a few times. By that time, you're probably starting to get a little tired. Your mind might start wandering. At that point, you want to stop, because when people aren't focused on it anymore, that's when mistakes can happen. So 5 to 10 minutes a day or a few times a week, and I'm sure you'll see a great improvement in your shooting. When you're finished with your dry fire practice for the day and you're leaving your dry fire area, it's a great idea to say something out loud to yourself like dry fire practice is finished, so that your mind is aware of it and you're setting yourself to know that I'm done, I'm going to load my gun again, I can't take just one more shot. There's also some other tools that you can get for dry fire practice. One thing I like to do, something as simple as a coin. You take a coin and you put it on your front sight. Get everything lined up and give that trigger a slow squeeze. When you can do it without the coin falling off, you know you're getting some pretty good trigger control. Something else you can get are snap caps. They're great for using in your gun. They simulate ammunition, although you're not going to have that recoil or noise, and it's not going to have any power to cycle the slide for you. But they're a great addition to your dry fire practice as well. You can also buy training barrels. Brownell sells them, Blade Tech, 511 Tactical has them. You buy one specific for your gun and you take out the barrel that's in it and put this in instead. That way you know you're not going to have any kind of accidental discharges, because you can't get any ammo in when you have one of these training barrels in your gun. Another tool that I highly recommend is the SIRT pistol, the shot indicating resetting trigger. They are made to have the weight, feel, trigger pull of a Glock 17. They come with a weighted magazine. You can get extras of these if you want to practice mag changes with them. And like I said, it has the same weight as the trigger pull that you'd have on a G17. And it comes with lasers. So you have a green laser to indicate where the shot is going to go when you pull the trigger. So that's your shot indicating. That green laser, or on some models it's red, is exactly where the bullet falls. And what you're looking for on this when you pull the trigger are dots. If you're seeing dashes, then you need to work a little more on that trigger control. It also comes with a second laser that is red, and that's your reset. And both of these lasers are adjustable, but the reset is to help you with that reset point on your follow through. So instead of letting the trigger all the way out, you just let it out to that point that it resets the trigger and you can fire it again. So it's a really handy little pistol to help you with your dry fire. I use this a few times a week, and I've seen a lot more improvement in my shooting accuracy than just regular dry firing. I can get a lot more shots off with this gun a lot quicker. I highly recommend doing some dry firing practice when you're at home, can't make it to the range, can't afford to buy ammo, any of that. Get out there and pull that trigger. I'm NCGunGirl. See you next time.